So, continuing the individual character reviews I've been doing of Toyotaro's manga adaptation of Dragon Ball Super, we're going to continue now and go on to have a look at the possibly most interesting one of the entire group. Now, this isn't to knock any of the other characters, because to be honest with you, I like all of them. There's been a lot of hate for a couple of them. Oh, my Mac's making fucking noises now. Jesus Christ. Okay, we've been hearing a lot of stuff about all of them, to be perfectly honest with you. And I mean, a couple of them in particular have had a lot more hate than the rest of them. But this particular one is stirring up all the controversy. I'm talking about the Saiyan. There's not that much stuff confirmed about any of these characters. As I said, it came out about a month ago in the previous chapter of Toyotaro's manga adaptation. So, until we get a bit more development into the story, we're really not going to know. So this is all speculation. Don't take any of it as gospel, and don't take any of it as fact. Most of the stuff that we know is fact will be very obviously fact. So just remember that, guys. Kabe, or Kabe, as I'm going to be referring to them for the rest of this video, is the sexually androgynous Saiyan that we've all been hearing about. Now, before we go into anything else, people are moaning that Champa had suggested Saiyans plural when he had spoke about obtaining Saiyans for their team. Now, before we write this off as a translation error, I do have a theory I'll explain in a later video, but I apologise because you're going to be hearing that a lot for the rest of this video, because I'm going to find it really difficult to separate these two theories. But anyway, people appear to be disappointed with this girl. Yes, I'm putting that as a suggestion that they could be female, due to the fact that many people have commented on different things, including the eyes. They slightly resemble that of 18s and 17s in the androids. That means very little, but due to the fact that before Jine, or Jean, or whatever her name is pronounced like, we'd never really been shown a female Saiyan. And that's not counting Seraph Fasha, due to the fact that of course she wasn't canon and wasn't designed by Toriyama. And allegedly Toriyama at the time just didn't actually know how to draw a female Saiyan, or what they'd look like as a Super Saiyan. It's all possible that this is actually how you'd expect them to look, with the sort of, docile eyes that look like they could be hiding back a fire. Considering they're a race of fighters, it's highly likely, and even the non-canon Seraph Fasha did this, that they'd actually cut their hair to stop it getting in the way or being used against them. Let's not think too hard about Raditz. So the short hair really isn't a viable point to base their gender on. But on the same string as this, to get a comedic moment, it would be very Toriyama-esque to write in this sexually androgynous Saiyan and keep them quiet right into their fight, leading you to believe that they're male for the rest of it, and then first punch into the fight reveal the fact they're actually female. I'm not saying this is damn true, but it's a theory, and Toriyama loves to deceive people, and that's not new news. Now, we know the hairstyle looks quite similar to Gohan's, but recurring hairstyles aren't a new feature to Dragon Ball. Yamcha, let's just, keep it between them two. But judging the fact, there's always a very good chance that they're a Super Saiyan God, because Champa has already seen Goku and Vegeta's power, and at this point into the manga he's obviously seen them as viable opponents to be confident in. If Toriyama has indeed introduced a new Saiyan God, then having that hairstyle is possibly just a way of making the transformations a little bit easier on himself. We don't know that this character is male or female, but looking at the outfit of Kabe, as shown in the picture, it does look very young boyish. But once again, this could all play into the joke of Kabe being a girl as a surprise. Now, this is highly unlikely, but I would love this. This would be so brilliant. If Goku is Kabe's first opponent, it would be one of the best throwbacks ever to Dragon Ball to have Goku run up and pat Kabe's crotch with his foot to try and work out their gender. Because obviously, if any of you remember, back in Dragon Ball, that is how Goku used to tell the difference between boys and girls. He checks with Bulma, Chi-Chi, and even Krillin. And unless it's distinctly obvious, he can't tell. And I think it would be brilliant at this point into the series if they just tried to make a comedy moment and threw it back to that. But, the chances are quite slim, but I think it would be fantastic. Now, let's look at some more of the aesthetics anyway. I'm going to have to keep this short and cut this short, because the next character I review and speculate is going to be affected of how I word this part, and I kind of want to keep a surprise for my theory. But now, Kabe's armor looks similar to that of Roman armor. perhaps this is a sign, or this is just a way of designing it to make it look old, to make it look as if the Saiyans of this universe didn't have, you know, the superior Tuffle space technology, and of course didn't have Freezer Clan uniforms. I won't go into too much about the outfit in this video, as I'm saving it for the next one. As I said, I'm really sorry guys, a lot of this video has been, oh, you better wait for the next video, but it's basically how I'm going to have to do this to keep any sort of surprise in the next one. Now, finally, one of the more noticeable things is that Kabe doesn't appear to have a tail. Now, does this tie into the theory with Akira Toriyama has forgotten the tails in his designs, or is it something bigger than that? And of course, as you probably saw coming, I have a theory that I'll be revealing in the next video. I'm going to try and get it out as fast as possible to try and make up for all the shortchanged answers I've given in this one, but the other one, look at it as it might be a Kabe review part 2, because it's a pretty big theory that I'm going to have to do a lot of to and froing. So, cheers for that anyway guys, and stay tuned for the next video.